rare moment of bipartisanship in Washington yesterday. The president signed legislation that aims to combat the recent rise in hate crimes, particularly against Asian Americans. The bill got overwhelming support from both chambers of Congress. The president called hatred and racism the ugly poison that has long haunted our nation.
We must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street. That's number one. It's a shame, but we don't know how to rehabilitate. But there is a consensus, and I will cease. We must make the streets safer. I don't care why someone is a malefactor in society. I don't care why someone is antisocial. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society, try to help them, try to change their behavior. That's why we do in this bill. We have drug treatment and we have other treatments to try to deal with it. But they are in jail, away from my mother, your husband, our families. But we would be absolutely stupid as a society if we didn't recognize the condition that nurtured those folks still exist. And we must deal with that.
First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and reverence to the Most High God. I do so by Hashem YAHAWAH, right? That's to give all glory and praise to the Most High God, name His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. All right, may the Heavenly Father, love and mercy truly endure forever for Israel and Israel only, as is stated in the Holy Scriptures. It's your brother Yarumbia, back and do another Feed the Flock. Talk about some of this racism, right? Some of these hate crimes. But this one I'm finna do in this video. Shouldn't really be too long. I'll probably add another 2 clips at the end of it. But yeah, it's a whole lot of racist commercials, right? With our people and mainly, honestly, my people is all that I'm worried about. But it's a lot of racist commercials against a lot of people of color, right? But obviously, when it comes to our people, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, right, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, Dominicans, right, the Guatemalans, right, Slovakia, Seminole Indians, when it comes to our people, this level of hate is never talked about in a way of, it has to stop, it can't be no more, well, people say it, but the actions, show something else. So yeah, so let me play this video, jump right into it, then bring on some of these precepts.
改变，只需一颗俏笔洗衣溶珠。俏笔全国招生热线400-800。
Right. So we see that that's clearly racism, Slavic racism that's going on against our people, though. Right. Even though that this is an old commercial, it's been talked about. It's been you know. People said these people who go around and talk about no more Asian hate, right? I mean, I heard Asians say, that this is bad about this commercial, and that things of these things like these, um, it has no place in the world today. You shouldn't see more videos like this. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah, so, this is just, like I said, the double talk, quick talk that these people do. Let me get this real quick. This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 18. I'm reading the KJV. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. That's the thing. Like, our people, we known for having a mouthpiece. So that's why we need to have action shown behind it. But we know these heathens that they don't follow God's law. But all they want to do is just say with their mouth how much they love, cherish everybody. We're all the same people, one blood type garbage. But their actions show something completely different. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read in the in the NLT, 1 John chapter 3, verse 18 in the NLT. Dear children, let's not merely say that we love each other. Let's show the truth by our actions, right? Let's not merely say we love each other. Let us show the truth, right? If you really love me, by our actions. See that? And that's something that a lot of people don't do, right? They say one thing and they completely do another. Let me go here. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 16. I'm gonna start. All right, 16. I'm gonna start at verse 2 in the NLT. The book of Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 2 in the NLT. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Your enemies have taunted you, saying, aha, now that the ancient heights belong to us, right? We go around this earth, we do what we want, right? We know they got chosen people, but it's cool because they saying they blacks, Hispanics, Dominicans, so now we claiming Jerusalem, right? We claiming their homeland, right? The ancient places. We claim that for ourselves, right? And they laugh and ridicule us. Let me read verse 2 again. And this is what the sovereign Lord says. Your enemies have taunted you, saying, aha, now the ancient heights belong to us. Verse 3. Therefore, Son of Man, give the mountains of Israel this message from the sovereign Lord. Your enemies have attacked you from all directions, making you the property of many nations and the object of much mockery and slander, of mocking and slander. Right? And this is what these nations do. They mocking us, they slandering against us. This was going on. Why a lot of y'all happy because they put Eve as a Batwoman, even though, she's a lesbian, that doesn't matter. The fact that one of our own is on TV, that's what matters though, right? Um, Salakia, it's the book of Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 4 in the NLT. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. He speaks to the hills and the mountains, ravines and valleys, and to the ruined waste and on desolate cities that have been destroyed and mocked by the surrounding nations. Kind of, it's mainly chiefly Esau, especially Esau, but we see that it's also a lot here for that background. Trying to do this real quick at this plantation before I get off, but yeah, we see it's Ammon, we see it's Moab. They have no problem, coming at the children of Israel, right? Mocking and taunting us. Let me get another one. It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, and verse 15. All who pass by cheer. All who pass by cheer at you. They scoff and insult beautiful Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city called most beautiful in the world and the joy of all the earth?" Because what was they doing in the video? They had a bony, I guess that is Moabite or Ammon. I forget if I just heard them say Asian. I ain't really peep. Let's see the location of where it was from, but you had these heathens, right? Go around and basically, she trying to be seductive. Have this dude come over there and then throw a dish detergent in his mouth and throw him in the washer and then wash him. Then he come out Asian. Like, just basically saying that he needed to get purified. See, that this how they mock and ridicule us as a people, right? But then they want to push, you need to love you, for who you are, the way God made you. You need to love you for how you are. But it's a lot of these type of racist commercials that's out. The middle of verse 15. Is this the city called the most beautiful in all the world and the joy of all the earth? Verse 16. Your enemies mock you. They scoff and they snare and say, we have destroyed her at last. We have long waited for this day and it's finally here. You see that? So, and they think that our power ain't gonna fight for us. But the thing is that, you have to turn your face to them. Turn your face to them in fear and sincerity. You have to do the things that your ancestors didn't want to do, for the most part, a lot of our ancestors, and we ourselves, right, in this lifetime. Most of our lifetime we spent being wicked as hell, right? So we have to be fervent in serving the Lord in these last and evil days so we can stand up and fight for us, right, continually, giving the Lord no rest. Not just, time period or so forth like that. Listen, to be for real, if you got time for yourself, then you got time for the Lord. But let me address this too. If this was our people, dang, where is that? Let me see if I can find it. Okay, and this is because like the dude that's in there, I mean, he really don't got no love for himself, I mean, and his people, because you would turn down a job like this. You see that you would turn it down, to at least keep your character. I mean, but niggas would do anything for money. This book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 4. I read in the KJV, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor of life, right? So honoring the Lord, having humility before the Lord, right? Fearing the Lord, that's riches, man. Right? That's putting up spiritual treasures, right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 16. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasures and trouble therewith. Right? Better is it just to have a little. Better is it just little with the fear of the Lord. Just having a little bit of fear. Right, that can be the start, like of of having a mustard seed and it grow into a gigantic tree. I mean, just having that little bit of fear, that little bit of faith, right? Better is just having a little bit of fear of the Heavenly Father, right, than having great treasures with trouble that come with it. And a lot of times that's what our people want. They take the, because I gotta eat, but then want to wear crosses and, do these praise dances and stuff like that. Where y'all faith at? Right? So where y'all faith at? So, we see that they hate and that they despise our people. We can see that clear. All praise to the Most High God. We gotta come back to the Most High God in fear and sincerity, and we gotta love each other. We gotta put aside petty bickering, petty insignificant things, about wanting to be the man. The thing is this, like, at the end of the day, you will never be the man. Because the greatest one out of all of us is YAHAWAH. So you'll never be him. You'll never be Timothy. So as Israel, what we gotta do is we gotta learn to humble down, love ourselves, love our power, love ourselves, love the people we come from, right? And stop always trying to give our love to other people. When you don't even love yourself, right? Hopefully, brothers and sisters was edified. Till the next time, I say shalom.
The official version released by the cosmetics company has since been removed, but copies continue circulating online of what some have called, quote, the most racist ad in the world. Rowie Rettenberg, CCTV in Washington.
Well, this ad has generated a lot of reaction worldwide, including in China. CCTV's World Insight featured a panel to discuss the ad.
The ad was basically playing on a stereotype that Black people around the world have been fighting hundreds of years to combat against, And it's disappointing coming from a place like China when China has tried to project itself as an ally for Black countries and people around the world. And to see something like this, like I said, it's very disappointing.
Victor, what do you make of it? Why would a company put on an advertisement now in the 21st century using racism in a way stupidly in the advertisement? It is very hard to imagine someone would do that today, particularly in China.
Indeed, I watched the replay of the commercial and I personally am completely disgusted by the insensitivity.
Appalled also by
Yes.
someone who could do that.
Indeed, not only the insensitivity, but also the racism and the prejudice embodied in that commercial. I actually condemn this commercial, and I don't think the company which released this commercial has apologized enough. This could actually be tantamount to a hate crime. So I think the regulators and the investigators should really get into the bottom of this and also make sure that such heinous mistake will not be repeated in China.